You can forgive, though you can see I first covered the habit. So knowledge is understanding. Then we went to habit mastery. And now the third pillar, and I do these in order, is state mastery. You have to understand how to get back to a productive state that's aligned with your vision. And this is calm, it's the power of now, it's related to that, it's flow. And what's going to happen by default is that you should see fewer and fewer decisions that you're making. So this is an important one because we've got to get to the state. So this is where meditation comes in, this is where rituals come in, and I advocate setting your tone for the day every day so that you're priming yourself. So we have to make sure that we're priming ourselves and making our internal priming larger and greater than the external stimuli that are going to come. So our inner vision, our inner world, our inner model has to be greater. Our inner priming has to be greater than the external. So state drives response more than circumstance. Now, this one here, people know what to do, but lose access to it in the moment. Reactions will almost always override intention. We do a thing called implementation intentions, but you have to have a handle on those reactions or you're just going to be lost. And again, that's why we go into the habit part first, then we do the habit mastery. And this one, the next one, is one that you don't usually see me talking about, and that is forgiveness. They may feel like the affront is so significant that they can't possibly forgive, or they may have associated that forgiveness means I'm going to continue to be abused or whatever, or taken advantage of. You can forgive, you don't have to forget, but at the same time, you don't want to be bringing it up every single time. And there is another level to this, and that's setting boundaries. So you can forgive and set boundaries. The point is, if you don't forgive yourself, you're going to constantly ding yourself on your self-image because there's an open wound there. You've got to get that wound resolved. And it's not about covering it up. It's not about suppressing it. It's about getting it resolved so it doesn't create energy anymore. But you also have to forgive other people, because if you don't forgive them, that's another wound. If we don't get that right, it's going to be difficult to move into working with other people, and relationships are necessary for your professional goals. And the problem here that people don't think about is if you have open wounds, if you haven't forgiven people, you haven't forgiven yourself, you don't know what's going to come up that's going to trigger that association to that wound. And now, and I'm not talking mental health, we have to get those wounds resolved so no matter what happens, they're not getting triggered. So I do talk a lot about we're in control, and emotional is the gateway to the right side or to the top, which is relationship, professional, and financial. However, because the relationship, professional, and financial involve other people, we have to do things on purpose to get that resolved. And one of them is solving the associations. And this is why the forgiveness is last, because we have to believe that we can change our habits, and we have to believe that we can set boundaries, and we have to believe that we have agency. So back to the slide, forgiveness, resolution, and integration, clearing emotional residue so the past doesn't hijack the present. And in my emotional modulation work, one of the things we talk about is you have to make sure that you know that you can modulate your emotions no matter how much chaos and angst is going on around you. Because if you don't do that, there's this thing in your mind, this fear that you could go into an anxiety spiral. And you know, an anxiety spiral can wipe out all the work that you've done. So forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. Forgiveness does not mean allowing abuse. Boundaries and forgiveness can coexist. And I do recommend having a series of boundaries that you can apply. Start with a very small one. Start with something that comes up, and then maybe boundaries. That boundary is there's things that you can do, but you have to forgive yourself in order to be able to see that next step. So you have knowledge, habit mastery, state mastery, and forgiveness. But to know and not do is to not know, or like not knowing. And it takes more than knowledge.